Hey, welcome to the Underworld, guys. So we have got another game for you from the Pokemon TCG and here at Underworld Games. We are streaming the first match of this round. I believe on the left we have got Gardevoir, on the right we have Dragapult. Looks like Dragapult is going, the Dragapult player is going first. Doesn't look like I've got a huge run, but they do have an Ultra Ball. So it looks like they're probably going to Ultra Ball away Manatee. With something maybe with what do you go with this hand? Probably that Zatu, as you can recover that with either Super Rod or Structure later on, so it's probably a safe card to get rid of. So it just looks like this is going to be a Dragapult Zatu list, which is quite interesting. I'm probably going to go for looks like they're eyeing up the Dracloak straight away, maybe for the next turn. They appear to have gone for a Freepik, but now they're debating something else, maybe just for, a Rotom. That seems like a good shout. Just start your turn with a couple of extra cards. The worst case is that your opponent refreshes your hand back down to 6 with 9 of their own, and they do have a rare candy in hand, so I think this is probably a pretty good shout. Hopefully get a Dragapult and a Fire Energy next turn and be able to put pressure immediately onto the Gardevoir player. So Gardevoir player Radu over here on the left. Start with Marvin, pretty perfect card to start the game with. It's just sort of, you just want sort of a Arven and Energy, and then you're sort of off to the races because you can get that TM Evo and probably profit. But I don't think I saw an Energy in Radu's hand, so this will probably be a little bit awkward. Probably mean they might have one hidden amongst there, but this probably will just mean that they have to bench down 2 rolls. Can't imagine they want anything else at this point, and just have to pass, unfortunately. Just looks like they're good for the 2 rolls. Do they have the energy? They are shuffling up. It usually represents that they are probably not going back in the deck, or they are playing something else, which means they want the deck shuffled. And as you can see, no energy, so they will have to pass over to the Dragapult player. Dragapult player doesn't, and that's perfect. They've got the Arven, they've got the rare candy, so they can immediately start on deck. We've got rare candy Dragapult just naturally in the hand, so they can immediately start putting some pressure onto the Gardevoir player. Immediately make their life a bit more difficult. So they are starting with a Nest Ball, so anyway that sort of an aggressive thing, aggressive attack this could be punished is if their Dragapult is knocked out, maybe using something like that TM Evo, or maybe if they high roll and they play the candy, so getting out another Dreepy, probably a pretty safe play, pretty good play to make at this point. Sorry about the camera knocked, it will eventually be fixed, but probably a bit late in the game, but fortunately you can still see most of the footage of the game, otherwise this would be another scrapped one, like we had last week, unfortunately. So probably just going to go for that. Looks like they're going for Super Rod to put back in the Zatu and the Manaphy. You never know when you're going to get Scream Trail trapped, so having the Manaphy back in the deck is probably not a bad shout at all. So I think they're probably going to debate what card to play. You can see that your opponent has a super strong hand, but they are going to go for it, they seems. They're going to go down, hopefully get that Fire Energy, and just be able to just, again, really bother your opponent, save the Forest Seal Stone for a future turn, for a future play. There's that Nerve Vessel seat, yep, so they have got it. We're just debating on what to discard off here. Nest Ball's probably pretty valuable, get another, maybe a Zatu down, but to get a Zatu up running later, so you can stream with Dragapults if one does get knocked out, but I think unfortunately for the Gardevoir player, for Radu, they are starting from behind here, so they're going to get one of their Rolts knocked out. They're going to have to evolve up to a Curlier, and there's a good chance that they'll get another 2 their Pokemon knocked out if they can't retreat into something or get around this Dragapult, and that's just the sort of strength of this Phantom Dive attack, is it can put on so much pressure, 200 to the active, knocking out pretty much any sort of low HP basic. So I can knock that out, and also set up any low HP basics on the bench. And Gardevoir typically doesn't play any way to sort of block that damage, or sort of any really chunky basics. So it does mean that they are going to be on the back foot very early on. So it looks like they're going to spread the damage. What this does mean is that unless Reddy can get something like the Monkey Dory, that if Reddy can't get an extra Pokemon down, that they are just going to mix up, but they are able to get another Ralts down. So worse, only 2 Pokemon are going to get knocked out. I'm going to Greninja, conceal cards, discarding energy, drawing 2 cards to hopefully draw into something, to be able to do something. Probably best for his third if he can get a Monkey Dory, take off the energy, or even this is great, and then use the TM Evo to evolve up into the Gardevoir EX, put it out of harm's way for next turn, just to be able to respond for something, because Gardevoir EX can put on quite a bit of pressure against Dragapult, as it's not something like the Regidrago. They don't have the plethora of attackers, they've just got to attack with their Phantom Dive, only be able to do 200. Can do things like Chiro, your Gardevoir EX back up, and other things to just make it a bit more difficult. So they can probably swing, maybe take out, knock out the Rotom, put damage on this Dragapult, and make it a little lot harder, maybe TM Diva later on down the line as well. This might be a good play in this scenario. As I say, it just looks like we're laying down that Budding Profit. We've got 4 Ralts on board. I don't think any Gardevoir player's dream to have 4 Ralts, so grabbing that TM Evo. So I think what I'd like to see is the evolution from the Curlier up into the Gardevoir EX. It does mean you do lose out on a bit of draw, and I don't think it's a huge amount of psychic energy in the discard, but it does protect at least one of your benched Curlier, does protect some prizes, and then the other one to evolve into a Curlier. You could of course opt to, going for the unfair stamp, you see, so that's another option as well. So limit your opponent low, make it really difficult for them to get much of sort of set up for the future. So yeah, I think fine. This is fine. I think they're choosing not to use the unfair stamp this turn. Yeah, when they are using Evo, yeah, evolving up 1 and 2, so evolving up the Curlier into the Gardevoir EX and one of the Ralts into a Curlier. So do like this, just saving that unfair stamp for next turn to draw into a couple more cards. When the Dragapult player does initiate an attack, which they probably will be doing this turn. So debating on what to do. Looks like they're eyeing up the Ultra Ball. Probably get maybe like a Dracloak, or get the Natu. Probably get the Natu to start drawing through the deck a bit more. So it's amazing how much draw power is in this Dragapult deck with the Natu. Again, is a little bit clunky, so not super popular here in sort of the West in terms of our games. The way we like to sort of build decks, it definitely seems like Pidgeot, if your Dragapult is at the blade, is the sort of favoured Pokemon of the favoured style of this deck. So it does look like they are favouring they've gone for the Zatu rather than the Dracloak. Again, I think perfectly, it's very hard for the Gardevoir player to punish this. Again, the only way to punish is they miss the Dracloak this turn. Yeah, again, the only way to punish is they miss the Dracloak, and they miss the Dracloak and are able to knock out this Dragapult, but you need to get 5 Psychic Energy in the discard, and the Monkey Dory, and the Braver Charm, all of that next turn to be able to respond onto this Dracloak, Dragapult, which is going to be very difficult. and they are using that Recon Directive ability to debate. I don't think that the damage manipulation is the fact actually that could mean that they take out sort of a very easy 2 prize there. They could take out the knockout on that second Curlier. So yeah, I think I like that, keeping that over the Iono. So what they can do, rather than playing the boss, they could save the boss in deck for a future turn. Just play that, move 2 from the Gardevoir EX, or in fact actually the Rolts on the active is probably a better target. Move 2 from the Rolts on the active, 2 back to the Curlier, take 2 knockouts here. Again, a lot of decks are opting to play the Radiant Charizard over the Radiant Alakazam, but again, just against evolving decks, Radiant Alakazam is such a strong, such a strong ability. So yeah, moving from the active to down to the Curlier. Very hard to come back from, and this means that Dragapult is going to go into his turn with only 6 prizes to 3, so we're going to have to fight back from a 3-prize distance. Oh, looks like they are playing the boss, so they are going to. I do like this, I think. So it's taking out all the draw power from Raddy this turn, so they're losing their Curlier and losing their Greninja, so all their draw power this turn. And this does mean that if Raddy can't evolve its active, it does mean that that's going to get knocked out. Yeah, that is going to get knocked out. I think I would have preferred to promote the Curlier without energy, or at least evolved onto the bench. Again, it doesn't matter too much, as this will mean with the Radiant Alakazam, it probably doesn't make too much of a difference, because they can just move that energy around. But this does mean that they can move around to the bench. At the very least, if they evolve the benched one, there's a good chance. In fact, no, actually, that's not even the case, because they can just move 2 from the Gardevoir EX. So very hard place to come back from, and it does look like the Dragapult player has drawn into another Dragapult. So what they need to do is they need to think of something pretty drastic to be able to come back from this. Maybe trapping up the Alakazam and start Scream Tailing onto the bench. It might be a good shout here. As I said, I don't think there's much psychic energy in the discard. I think that's all you're going to do, is just hope that they are stuck enough that the Recon Directives can't get them out of that. So maybe you could bring up this Alakazam and knock out the Dracloak there with the energy on, and then go for. You can't even do any damage to the Dragapult, because unfortunately the Dragapult does have that Terrestrial trait, so it can't be knocked out. So Iono, so not really what you want to do after you've done first hand, sort of losing out on some later on disruption. But if you are sort of low on cards, sometimes that is just what you've got to do. But this is very nice finding the vessel. So be able to put a couple more energy into the discard pile, which is definitely what to see. And it looks like they're opting for a Psychic and a Dark, so that would suggest maybe a Monkey Dory is in hand, or the ability to get a Monkey Dory out this turn. And they can move that 3 damage from the Gardevoir EX, so maybe moving something like they could move that 3 from the Gardevoir EX onto the active Dragapult, so counter catcher up the Alakazam, knock out the Dracloak. That's what I'd really like to see this turn, but I think that's going to be quite a tall ask. And then what you can do in the future turn is you could prod or stretcher back in that Dark Energy to be able to put another 3 onto Dragapult, and then at least another 1. And then you can TM Devo that, leaving them with no attackers in one turn if they can't get another DP on the board. As I say, I think that's a tall order. So looks like they're just going to Ultra Ball for another Courier. Not really what we want to do. We do miss the level ball being able to get out. We do miss level ball from back in the day being able to get out these what feels like for free. But unfortunately that is not something that we can do. So it looks like Radu is really in the tank there, trying to figure out what to discard. Opts to discard the Arven. They do get the Greninja, but I think with that Dark Energy, they don't really want to discard that Dark Energy, they want to save it, but they might have to just to keep things going, because I don't think they've got a Psychic in hand yet. Probably hoping, wishing that they had gone for the Psychic instead. Again, I think it was quite a tall order there. So what Radu could do here, as I say, is just hope that they can draw and use Greninja for the draw for the rest of the game. Hopefully they find out, maybe use that TM Evo to evolve their benched Gardevoir. Again, what this does mean is it makes it a lot harder for the Dragapult player to get those last two prizes, because they'll probably get an easy prize off this Courier here, and then an easy prize off the Radiant Greninja for later on. But we will see, as I say, because there is no counter catcher. It does look like they're eyeing the TMD though. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So even just TMD there here for a tempo play probably isn't too bad, so I don't think they've got a huge hand, and we'll be able to maybe find the candy in time. But what are we going for here? So they have gone for Body Coffin to get that Drifloon. Do they have any sort of tool? So I think Dragapult is just asking what the Drifloon does. Maybe working out how much damage it can possibly do, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. And I think if Radu doesn't move this Courier out from the active, it is just going to, doing that. So they don't do that, they're just going to lose 2 Courier. And so I think, go in with Gardevoir EX. It's going to be very hard for Dragapult to knock out. Hope you can draw into a Toro next turn, Toro up, and then some swing again with maybe another Gardevoir EX. Very good attacker in this matchup. But I think just with that Phantom Knife being able to put 6 damage counters onto the bench, it does mean that some of the and I think actually Radu is probably not in the most ideal spot here, as they can just knock out the Gardevoir EX as well by moving 2 damage counters from the Courier onto the active Gardevoir, and then that'll be 110, 200, so that'll be more than enough damage to knock out Gardevoir EX, unfortunately, there, because they did miss the Monkey Dory. So I think just an unfortunate game for the Gardevoir play here. So much that they needed, but just with that turn to Phantom Dive, they just weren't able to be able to keep up with the pressure. Just weren't be able to draw into the cards they needed in time. And so, I think you're now sort of at that point as at that point I think that's an easy choice to take the stamp, unless they are choosing to Iona this turn. They want it to be slightly higher, because I don't think you need the extra natty. But it's just so difficult to respond to the Dragapult's Random Dive just so early on, being able to start spreading damage counters onto the bench, and not being able to set up your board. This stuff is getting destroyed. So opting to lose out on Dragcloaks, Recon Directive, and instead going to evolve up. And what this does do is it does play around the TM play. So I don't think there's really anything Radu can do at this point, apart from probably just Iono, counter catcher up and start attacking with Scream Tail, and probably just a lot of praying as well. maybe start getting a Monkey to spread damage to that Dragapult, and start hoping that you can eventually move 9 onto that and be able to take again another double KO there. But yeah, I think if this Sealstone goes down onto the Rotom, I don't think there's really much. I don't think there's really much that Rowdy can do here, because they're going to be able to have access to any card in their deck. I imagine they probably play at least one switch, but it does look like they're not attaching. Okay, so they are going to, do this to play around any boss stalls, potentially, attaching the energy there. Maybe they don't play switch, but they will almost certainly play switch card. There's a lot of lists that play switch card, so moving 2 to the active, so taking those 2 prizes on. EX, I think I do like this. If you don't have the option to boss, so what this just means is that you just need to take one more knockout on a single prizer, and so just a Phantom Dive will be able to do it next turn, as they'll be able to spread 6 onto multiple Pokemon. They'd need to do something like get Monkey to row all the damage out. So yeah, it looks like they are putting 3 and 3 maybe on each. 5 and 2. Yeah, that's what this does mean, is that we're going to need to Turo up the Drifloon and get Monkey to move the 2 off of the Curlier. Again, starting off with an Ionis 1. Again, classic play, but so far behind. I'm not convinced that, as you can probably tell by the length for the rest of the video, I'm not convinced that I will be able to pull out this. So they're going to go for another Vessel, but I don't think there's much energy, and I think you probably would have wanted to hold on to that until you get a Rod, to be able to put it back in the Dark Energy, to be able to move one of those, some of the damage counters off. But yeah, I think now we're at that point where, because Iona has been played, Rowdy won't be able to move off all this damage, and so I think this was probably just checkmate. I think very well played by the Dragapult player. Again, very lucky with that early aggression. Turn 1 attach, turn 2 Dragapult EX, Phantom Dive. It would put so much pressure. Rowdy got very unlucky not being able to afford any Curliers. Turn 1 with the TM Evo, just missing out on the energy, has meant that they have just fallen behind, and looks like we are fixing the camera now again, as finally somebody has noticed that needs adjusting a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't too distracting, but yeah, I think Rowdy's just looking for the deck and just scooping it up, as I don't think there's really anything. Again, really well played and showing the counter catcher card is completely useless at this point, as I think that's the card in hand, as they are way ahead. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you for the next game.